So let's start. So we'll be discussing about a few of the topics for content writing and also about the Henry Harvin full content writing course so that you are aware about both the concepts. So first thing, uh, the entire course is designed in a way that you will be learning the basic skills, because for content writing, there are different skills that you require. First is the basic skill or the input skills that you require. That is the language skill and the internet skill. So as a content writer, you have to be a master of your language. You have to be very good in language, especially the grammatical part and the spelling mistakes part. So the course is designed in this way that we'll also be learning some language skills, that is grammatical skills. Second thing, at times as a content writer, you may not be able to write everything on your own. There would be possibilities wherein you might have to do a lot of research. So for that, you require you should have internet skills as well. So you should be aware about the various tools, various softwares that you can use to get information from the web. So that is what. So that is why two basic skills required to be a content writer. Our first is the language skill. Second is the internet skills. So as a language, it is basically the tone that you use. You should understand the tone that you use, the words that you use. For example, there are different ways that we can communicate a simple sentence. In case if we say example uh, that caution, you are under surveillance. So this sounds a little rude and commanding, but rather instead of that caution, you are under surveillance, instead of that, if you are told smile, you are on a camera. So the message is being passed, the message still remains the same, that there are cameras, so please be aware about those, but the way of saying is different. So the message that we want to portray in front of the audience, that message remains the same, but the way we communicate that message changes. So it is exactly just like how we communicate. In case if you communicate with your friends, if you ask your friends, if we ask for a help from our friend, and our friend says, "Hey, no, what is wrong with you? How do you expect this from me?" This at times may hurt us. But same way, in case if a friend cannot help us, in case if a friend is stuck somewhere, but in case if our friend says this in a nice and polite language, for example, that hi, a friend, I'm a little busy right now, so I may not be able to do it right now, but I'll surely help you after some time. So this will create better understanding between our friends. So similarly, even when we write as well, our language skills plays a very important role even when we write. So the message that we want to portray to our audience, to our readers with our content, plays a very important role. The word choice that we use, the tone that we use, the way that we frame our sentence, all these things are very important when it comes to writing. And second is, since internet skills, we have to do a lot of research. So if we are aware about all the tools, all the technologies, all the softwares that we are going to use, then we will not be wasting too much of time in researching the content. Rather, we utilize that time in our content writing and planning for that content. So that is how it is a little different. Then apart from that, the other skills that you will be learning will be business and marketing skills, and business and marketing writing. That is like, in case of as a content writer, you may have to write a lot of promotional contents as well. For example, any ads that you see, even when we see an ad in a newspaper, they use very attractive wordings. So all those things are also written by content writers. Even the taglines that you see on brand, those are also written by content writers. So those are for business and marketing use. So we'll be learning that. We'll also be learning creative writing, because one of the very beautiful types of writing is creative writing. It is sort of like when we write fictions, we write poems, all these things requires a lot of creativity. So the course will also help you in enhancing your creative writing skills. so that you can write in a much better way. Then apart from that, you'll also be learning academic writing types. Academic writing types, there are a lot of people who are from the academic field, who are from teaching or training field. So for them, it will be very helpful because from the academic field as well, there are a lot of times wherein you have to create your own training materials. So the way that we create our training material as well has to be in a way that the readers or the students can understand easily. And last is the technical and research writing types. So that is in case if you're writing technical writing, medical writing, research writing, or any types of technical writing like white papers and all. So all those things, there also all these type of contents have their own way of writing, have their own style of writing that we will discuss today. Then once you learn all these basic skills like language and internet skills, plus all these core skills like all these writing skills, then one of the output skills that you will be learning will be content strategy. Till then we have already learned writing, but then apart from writing, there is something else as well which is very important, that is how to publish the content. We should be aware about the different platforms, we should be aware about the audience, because one of the basic skills required to be a content writer is understanding the audience. Everyone has their own taste, everyone has their own interest. So in case if I write something which not everyone may enjoy reading, even if it is a very well written content, but the readers don't understand it, then my content will still not be a success. So again, the content strategy is also very important. Also, content strategy involves things like where to publish content, what tone to use for what type of audience, how to select that, how to identify the set of readers. Then what, how, in case if you're working as a content writer for a company, what is the company requirement? How for companies, how should you write your content? So all those things you'll be learning in the output skills. Then lastly, the main reason why most of us want to learn writing is how to earn from content writing skills and how to get projects from content writing. So these are the things that we will be learning. So let's start with language skills. So, but before that, general question. So what do you understand by content writing? What do you think is content writing? You can use the chat window to write your answers. So what do you think is content writer writing? Anything, any general thing, what do you think is content writing? You can answer that. So participants who have joined us on YouTube, even you can answer this question on the chat window on YouTube. Yes, correct. Any kind of text which shares information about a certain thing. Yes, that is yes is a type of content. Correct. Very right, Sonia. And yes, Sonia, to answer your question, yes, definitely a fresher who does not have experience in writing as well. So one of the best things about this course is that we will be starting from the extreme basic to a different level of writing. So whether you are already experienced in content writing or whether you are a fresher, so the course is designed in such a way that it will be beneficial for all of you. Yes, Alok said probably a way to express and enhance particular topics to bring out the actual essence. Yes, very right. It is a way of expressing a topic in an attractive, engaging with information, with an eye on the audience's requirement. Yes, very right. Description in a gist. Yes, correct, Sangeeta. So good. Uh, very rightly said. So yes, so any type of information or any type of experience that we are sharing with the audience, those are all considered as content. So for example, like for marketing as well, we don't directly market. Even if we are writing for something related to sales or marketing, we give them information only if the audience likes the information, then they purchase the product or the services. Creative writing as well, we give them experience, so we give them an experience to a fiction world that we created, to a complete creative world that we all created for them. So yes, so it is sort of an information or an experience that we share with the audience. That is content writing. Okay, so let's start with the first topic, that is language skills. So now, basic question: what do you think are the skills required for a content writer? What are the skills that a content writer should have? Basic skills which a content writer should have. Is creativity and command over the language. Yes, very right. Command over language. Yes, very right. Correct. So yes, definitely. First is the command over the language that the content writer should have. Content writer should also have some creativity. Yes. So these are basic skills. Yes. So yes, communication is the basic concept, and yes, power to express in a clear, precise way. Yes, very right. Creativity and grammatically right. Perfect. So yes, so these are some of the basic skills, like yes, good English or good language and a vocabulary. Yes, so very rightly said. And creativity and technical skills. Yes, correct. So very nice, and yes, very rightly said, uh, all of us. So yes, so but yes, the basic three or the basic four skills that the content writer should have is: first is good command over your language, that is understanding the grammar, the tone of the language, the writing styles, and all these things. So that is good command over the language. Where doesn't matter which language you are writing in, whether you're writing it in English or Hindi or in your own native language, whichever language you are writing in, just make sure that first thing is that the content writer should have a good command over that language. Second is understanding of the target audience, because we do not write for ourselves. Most of the times, we will always write for the readers. So instead of only concentrating on what we love to write, also think of what the audience loves to read. And it is also said that we don't write for ourselves. We write or we don't write for a group of readers. We write for one specific uh, reader who we target as the ideal reader. So there are different types of readers for any content. For example, there are some who like to read fiction. There are some who like to read non-fictions. Then there are some who like to read who like to read more of technical content. Then there are some who like to read more of like poems. So different readers have different interests. Now, every type of writing, again, since we all have our own set of interests, but every type of writing is a little different in a way. For example, if we are writing fiction, when uh, when someone is reading fiction, they have their own requirement, they have their own expectation from fictions. For example, if I in a fiction, if I make it too much informative, but I don't make it creative, our content will definitely not be successful, because that is not the reason why our readers are reading this content. And similarly, in case if I'm writing any technical content, if I'm being too creative but I'm not giving the right information, definitely it will not help the readers understand anything. So because the reader's expectation out of that content is that they should be able to learn some information, that it should be informative. But instead of informative, I'm making it too creative, then definitely my content will not be a success. So different types of contents have different audience, and all different audience have their own expectation. So that is what makes a content writer uh, more creative, and more and makes the content writing job more challenging, because we have to understand what type of audience requires what type of contents. So whenever you write your content, it is very important to understand that if I'm writing this content, who will read it and why will someone read it. Okay. If I am able to answer this question, whether if I'm getting information, whether I'm getting experience out of it, whether I'm getting entertainment out of it, so different things. But there has to be something that I'm getting if I'm reading a content. Okay. And then the last thing is to have a writing process in place. Whenever we write a content, uh, do we write everything at once only, or can we write a perfect content just in the first go? Or should we or do we at times have to edit as well? The open question for everyone. So whenever we write a content, can we write everything at one go, or do we have to or do we have to do some rewriting, or editing, or proofreading corrections and all as well? Yes, we need to proofread at least twice. Yes, very right, Farida. Rephrase repeatedly. Yes, Sangeeta, correct. So yes, whenever we are writing any content, we cannot directly write in one go. So whenever we are writing any content, there is a writing process. For example, always have a plan in your mind that I'll be dedicating around 10% of the time for my researching, or proofreading the content, then a certain percent, like around 20, 30, 40% of the time in writing the content for the first time, then the rest 20% in or 10% in proofreading, then 20% or 15% in rewriting the content. Because whenever we proofread our content, to make sure if it is the right way that I'm writing in, we have to rewrite that content again, the mistakes that we have made or the suggestions that we have right now. So always have a plan, and in case if you have a target in mind that you will be writing or you will be finishing a new content by this time, also include your planning time, your research time, your proofreading time, and your rewriting time as well. And one of the most important thing to require to be a good content writer is the practice. Whether you get time or not, try to write at least 20 minutes every day, because that is something which even established content writers, even people who are very known writers as well, they follow the same thing. So try to write at least 20 minutes every day. And whenever you're writing, don't ever think about perfection, because definitely you cannot be perfect with your first go. So whenever you're writing, just write whatever comes to your mind. Again, do not worry about perfection, because perfection will always come with revision. Okay. So basic skills for content writer. So yes, now uh, the next thing is the grammatical skill. Uh, so grammatical skills include the choice of words, the commas, punctuations, and all that we use. So there are different places that at times one of the biggest uh, reason why our content is can be grammatically correct is commas, because at times we do not understand when to use comma, or at times we add unnecessary comma, or at times we do not add a comma at all. Now, I'll give you an example. How can uh, just if I don't add a comma, how ridiculous can a content sound? Now, if I write this, now without comma, what does this sentence mean? Weird, right? The sentence sounds very weird. And then, yes, kids are our food. We are going to eat the kids. Yes. So how ridiculous that does that sound? People will think we are cannibals. So that's when a comma is required here. Let's eat kids. So similarly, just one comma can change the meaning of a sentence. One comma can make you a cannibal from a normal human. So that's why do not forget to add comma. Now, if we look at this example, number 4, how would you correct the sentence? It's so silly to imagine its mother is a big dog. What does the sentence mean? How would you correct the sentence? Number 4. Yes, remove the apostrophe from year. The apostrophe should be year. So one of the very common error that people make is difference between this and this. Normally, whenever we are adding an apostrophe, it means that something belongs to someone. But in it's the it is the opposite of that. It goes the other way. So this it apostrophe s stands for it is. Its means that something which is possessed by someone. Yeah, so do not get confused between this, because at times it changes the meaning of the sentence. So this the first it's has to be an apostrophe, that it's so silly. So it is so silly to imagine. Now in example number 3, uh, one of the very common error that people make is when to use I and when to use me. So these are also two grammatical mistakes that people make. So always use I when the person is the subject of a sentence, and always use me when the person is the object of a sentence. Now, in this sentence, the rabbits led Sophie and I on a long chase through the bushes over the hill. Normally, whenever I'm writing just about myself, most of the time, most of the time, it's it's easier for us to write. Normally, whenever you are writing, whenever there is another person who's involved, for example, like you and I or you and me, so that's when the confusion is. Or in just like in this example, Sophie and I. So should it be Sophie and I? So should it, or it should be Sophie and me? Is this correct or is this incorrect? The rabbits led Sophie and I on a long chase through the bushes and over the hill. Yes, it is incorrect. Good that you've written it is incorrect. So it should be me. Now, whenever you are confused, at times people get confused whether to use you and I or you and me. So it depends on the sentence. Again, when the person is the subject, then it is I, the person is the object, then it is me. Now, whenever you are confused whether to use I or whether to use me, the easiest thing to do is just remove the other person out of this. So now, in case if you remove this part, now check if is this sentence correct. The rabbits led I on a long chase through the bushes and over the hill. Now it is easier for us to identify the rabbits led me on a long chase through the bushes and over the hill. Okay? So whenever you are confused, just remove the other person, then then the sentence becomes easier for you to understand. Okay. Now another thing which is very important in writing is the style of writing. There are different styles which are required for different types of sentences. Now, in this, for example, an author needs to describe a situation where he or she witnessed a girl picking a flower. Now, there are three ways in this that we can describe the same situation. First is she picked a red rose from the ground. Second is scarlet was the rose that she plucked from the earth. And third is from the ground, she delicately plucked the ruby rose, cradling it in her hands as if it were a priceless jewel. Now, out of these three, sentence number 1, 2, and 3, all three sentences mean the same. But which one sounds more descriptive and more creative? Yes, number 3. Perfect, Parita. So sentence number 3 sounds more creative and more descriptive because the words that you have used. So whenever you are writing more of creative writing, your main goal should be that people should be able to visualize, not just read through your content. They should be able to easily understand what is going on. They should be able to visualize at what is going on. Now again, another example is if I say the morning is beautiful, so, okay, the readers will just read through it. Okay, the morning is beautiful. But if I describe it properly, that the morning is that that when you wake up in the morning, you could hear the birds chirping, a nightingale chirping in the morning, and light blue sky uh, uh, covered with marshmallow type clouds. So if you describe it in this way, then the readers will be able to visualize everything, and so that way people people will enjoy your reading. So that is what is good in this sentence. So from the ground she delicately plucked the ruby rose, cradling it in her hands as if it were a priceless jewel. Okay, so this is what makes it more creative. Another example is for style is Little Red Riding Hood set out immediately to go to her grandmother, who lived in another village. As she was going through the wood, she met with a wolf, who had a very great mind to eat her up. But he dared not because of some woodcutters working nearby in the forest. He asked her where she was going. The poor child, who did not know that it was dangerous to stay and talk to a wolf, said to him, I am going to see my grandmother and carry her a cake and a little pot of butter from my mother. Okay, so this is another example. Now, in case if we do not add all these things, now so one of the way that makes this writing creative and makes this story so successful is first is the choice of words that has been used and the clear explanation of everything, because the way it is written is we can understand each and every situation which is going on in this content. So for example, like this, even if we remove this sentence as well, it may not cause that much of an impact. The sentence that says the poor child who did not know that it was dangerous to stay and talk to a wolf. So even if we remove just that one sentence as well, it might change the meaning of that sentence, or it may not sound that good. So that is how. So different. There are different styles of writing. One is the descriptive style. One is narrative style, then persuasive style. So these are all styles of writing. So different type of content requires different types of styles. So first is descriptive style. Whenever you're writing more of a creative content, so it has to be descriptive style that you use, because that will give you more clarity about the story and more vivid details, like when you describe a person's appearance, the looks, the expression of the person, the sound of voice, or even if you describe the clothes that the person is wearing, the color of certain thing, even if you describe a fragrance. So all these things makes the content more creative. Okay. So there's one other example. So now here is a selection of the version found in the Grimm's fairy tales. The grandmother lived out in the wood, half a league from the village, and just as Little Red Riding Hood entered the wood, a wolf met her. Red Riding Hood did not know what a wicked creature he was, and was not at all afraid of him. "Good day, Little Red Riding Hood," said he. Thank you kindly, Wolf. "Whither away so early, Little Red Riding Hood?" "To my grandmother's. What have you got in your apron?" So this is another example. So this shows a conversation between Little Red Riding Hood and the wolf. So these are the two different styles, that same version of a story, but in two different styles. So first is more of a narrative style, that this just shows narration, and this is more in a conversation style, that it shows like a conversation. So that is what whenever you write, depending on what is your audience requirement, you will change the way you will write your content. So this was just a few basic things about the language skills. There's a lot more to it that you will learn in the actual course, in the complete course of content writing. Now these are the things like introduction to content writing, what is tactical content, what is strategical content, expert versus influencer, agglomeration, how to agglomerate a content and how to aggregate a content, creative versus technical writing, what readability skills should your content have, and what searchability skills should your content have. Then different writing for different platforms, including online platform and offline platform, because there's a little different, because there's actually not little, there's more than little difference when you write for online platform and offline platform. The choice of words, the requirement of a reader, all those things are different. So you'll be learning all these things. Apart from that, you'll also be learning the tone and different types of tones, different types of styles, different types of sentence constructions and sentence structures, common grammatical errors that people make. Uh, then apart from that, difference between UK and US English as well, because at times there are also certain words that are often spelt or used incorrectly. I'll give you one example that is very commonly used incorrectly. Have you heard of this phrase called as first come, first serve? I'm sure you all have heard of this phrase, first come, first serve. Have you all heard of it? First come, first serve. Okay. So what does this phrase mean? If you take normally the reason why we use this is because whoever reaches first will get service first. Yes, will be served on priority. But if you read the sentence, first come, first serve, this sentence actually means that the one who comes first will serve first, isn't it? If you read this, the sentence means that the person who comes first will serve first. right? If we read the sentence. So this is not the actual phrase that is supposed to be used. We have just started adapting to the modified version, but the actual phrase is first come, first served, served. So that D changes the meaning of the phrase. So because we say first come, first serve, this means that the person who comes first will serve first. But it should actually be first come, first served. This will mean that the person who comes first will be served first. So whenever you're using this phrase, make sure to add this D in your content. So these are some common grammatical mistakes that people use very commonly. So that is what should be avoided, and there are many of such things that you will learn in this course, and you'll understand how, and you'll also be learning how to avoid all these things. Okay. Now to proceed further. Apart from that, you'll also be learning presentation skills as well in the language skills module, because there are different places, like whether you are a student, whether you are a working professional, there are times wherein you have to present your content. So for that, you should also require presentation skills, like on what are the things that has to be there in a good presentation. So and how what makes a presentation be called as a good presentation. So all these skills as well is something that you will be learning in the complete content writing course. So in case if you have any other doubts, Shilpa has shared her number. Thank you so much, Shilpa, for sharing it. So Shilpa has shared it on this chat window. I'll just copy it again. But yeah, this is just the first module. There are a lot more that we'll be learning right now in uh, in the webinar itself. So people who are on YouTube, just note this number down. So this was about the language skills. Now there's a lot more to it that we will be learning. Now let's go to module number 2, that is internet skills. So internet skills, there are different things. First is you'll be learning about search engines. Search engines like Google, Bing, Yahoo, these are all search engines. You'll also be learning about the different tools like how to create your own website. So you all will be creating after at the end of the actual course of the complete content writing course. You all will have a functional website that you can use either to publish your content or to use as a portfolio for yourself. So you'll also be learning a little bit of photo editing as well, like, because a good content is something which is accompanied by a good graphics, whether that is a photo or a video. So you'll also be learning a little bit of graphic designing as well, a little bit of photo editing skills as well. Let's learn one of the things. First thing is, do you know what is a keyword? So what is a keyword, generally asking? So anything so far, you can definitely share what a keyword is. Yes, the phrase we search to find relative information. Very right, Varita. The main words, yes, very right, Dr. Rajeshri. The main words that we use. So different things. So that we use. So whenever we go to any search engine, like Google, so if in case if you want to search for any information on Google, we do not type as if we are talking to some person, right? Like, hi Google, I want to order something today. Please suggest any good restaurants where I can order food from. That is not how we search, right? Because Google is not a person, it is a software. So what Google understands is the keywords that we use. So let's say that in case if you want to search for certain keywords like restaurants, you will just type restaurants near me or restaurant in a particular city. Now, depending on what keywords that we have used, since I've used restaurant, and since I am in now according to the to your IP address of the computer and the location, the GPS location, since we most of the time we have GPS enabled on our phone and our computer by default. So according to that, it will automatically identify what location we are in. According to that, it'll start giving us the information. Since I'm in Mumbai, that is why it is showing me restaurants in Mumbai. Now if you look at this, restaurants near me, so restaurants, the word that we use in our content uh, specifies what is the way that we will get the result on Google. Now, if you see, the first one is TripAdvisor, second one is TripAdvisor again, then third is EasyDiner.com, then Zomato. Now, same thing, instead of restaurants, if I change this word, what is another word that I can use instead of restaurants? Uh, any suggestion? Anything that we can use instead of restaurants? Any synonym suggestions? Same thing, instead of restaurants near me, what else can we use? Yes. So some other words that I can use instead of restaurants is eateries. EERIS. Or apart from that, also search for order near me. Now, same way, but yes, both of them almost means the same. Now, in case if I search with this result where I'm first getting TripAdvisor has changed. Now, if you see, the first one is now Swiggy, but in the restaurants one, Swiggy was not a part of it. So Swiggy, then Zomato again, then Domino's, then FreshMenu.com. So depending on the word that I've used in my search, according to that, the result will change. Yeah, so that is what keyword. That is why keyword is very important. Sorry, I got signed up. I'll just sign in once again. See, so one of the most very important thing that one of the very important tools that you can use to search for keyword is keyword planner. There is so Google has a free tool which is called as Google Keyword Planner. So for now, I'll just demonstrate how it works. Now, in case if I search for meal delivery, I will get the result that how many people are searching for this keyword. So there are different. I can use meal delivery. I can use restaurants. So whenever you're searching for a keyword, you can try different options while searching for it. Yeah, yes, we'll just give it a few seconds for it to load. Or now, if I search for restaurants, Yes, this might take a few seconds to load. Okay, sorry, I got signed out. I'll just sign in once again. So how Google Keyword Planner works is whenever we just have to type a keyword, and the way that we type a keyword, it shows us the results, that how many times is this same keyword used. Now, if I search for meal delivery, yes. So now this is giving us the average monthly result, monthly data. So meal delivery, around 1,000 to 10,000 people are searching it average on a month, the same keyword. The competition is low. So this is normal. So this is the keyword that we have used. This is how many people are searching for this keyword. So around 1,000 to 10,000 people are searching for this keyword on Google, average in a month. So it can be around 4,000, 5,000, something between 1,000 to 10,000. So K means 1,000. Competition means that how many other writers or how many other websites are using the same keyword in their content. Because uh, whenever you're searching for this, always pick up the one which has high average monthly search and low competition. Because low competition, if the competition is high, that means that there are already too many other websites, too many other platforms who have been using this keyword. So for a new website to rank on top will be a little difficult. So that is why the one to use is always something which has high average monthly searches and low competition. Because if there are already 2 million websites who have the same keyword on their content, then it becomes difficult for a new website to rank high. But in case if there's hardly around 100 websites who are using the same keywords, then it is very easy to rank on the top page or on the first page of Google. So that's how it becomes helpful for us as well. Okay, so whenever you're writing your content, so utilize your keywords in this way, or use such tools like Google Keyword Planner. So there's a lot more to it in Google Keyword Planner. Apart from this, just like how we learned this, there are also other tools similar to Google Keyword Planner. For example, like keyword search, then there is SEM, then there is Uber. So there's a lot more similar tools. So all those tools you will be learning in the complete content writing course of Henry Harvin. So apart from that, in the second module, that is internet skills, you'll also be learning about advanced online research, how to crack internet through Google using keyword planners, different keyword planners. Then you'll also be learning some softwares like Wolfram Alpha. That is one of the best websites to use to search for any information, or to search for any data, or anything which or any factual information similar to Wikipedia, but all the data in Wolfram Alpha is more in a systematic format. Apart from that, you'll also be learning some graphic skills like logo designing, and designing book covers and your own images and all as well in the course. Because again, as I said previously, a good content is something which is accompanied by a good graphics, which makes the content more appealing. Then apart from that, you'll also be learning about some other grammar tools like Google Analytics. For our website, Google Analytics is one of the most important tools to use. Google Analytics gives us the data of what type of audience is accessing our website. So any content that we write can be something which they can we, so we can write something for which I'm getting most of the audience, which they can relate to it. So Google Analytics is something that you will be learning. Then you will also be learning about other tools similar to Google Analytics like Woorank. Then you will be learning Alexa. Then apart from that, you'll also be learning some grammar, some tools which will help you with your grammar, like Grammarly, Ginger, Hemingway. You'll also be learning that how can you check your content for copyrights, for any plagiarism issues. You'll be learning about spelling softwares, Creative Commons, Google local pages, how to blog, how to write blogs, article directory. So these are some places where you can write your content and you can also earn out of it. And apart from that, you'll be learning about how to tag your content, how to categorize your content, how to use social media to distribute your content. So these are some things that you will be learning in module 2. So now let's jump to module number 3. And yes, for any more information on this, you can just contact. You can also Nanka. Nanka has also mentioned contact details. I'll just put her contact details as well on Word, so you can get the information if you want to call Nanka or Shilpa. So one of the our counselors are very helpful always, and they are one of the assets of Henry Harvin. Whenever you require any help or whenever you want to get information about course, our counselors like Shilpa, Anka, and we have more counselors as well. They are very helpful in getting you the information. So yes, now let's go to module number 3. That is business and marketing writing. So let's learn how to write blogs. So whenever you're writing blogs, a few things which are very important is always put your reader first. Because whenever we're writing blogs, don't think, don't write only what you want to write. Also, always think about what your readers want to read. Always write about that. And whenever you're writing blogs, the way people read your blog is, first is people read the heading of the content, the title of the content. If they find the title interesting, then they'll read the first paragraph of the content. If they like the first paragraph, then they'll read the entire content. So that is how people read the content. Now, in case if a title is not interesting, if it's a boring or a very generic title, people will not read through our content. If the title is interesting, now there are different ways to write a title. For example, in case if you have to write like 10 tips to learn content writing, if you just write 10 ways to learn content writing, that will not be as effective as if we use some power words on it. Power words, for example, like ultimate tips to write content, or 10 uh, 10 most effective ways to write content, or 10 ways to write the most effective content. So if you use such power words, people will be attracted towards your content. So always use power words in your content title, in your heading. Avoid and always divide your content in short paragraph. Avoid writing long paragraphs. Either you can write it in multiple bullet points, like in short pointers. Avoid long paragraph. It's sort of like I'm sure we all use WhatsApp, right? So in case if I get two messages in WhatsApp, one is like a 3-liner message and one is like a 3-paragraph message. Most of us will tend to scroll through the longer one. I mean the 3-paragraph content. So most of us will always read the 3-line content and avoid the 3-paragraph content. So that is what is more of a psychological effect. Now another, so that is what, whenever you're writing a content, avoid writing long paragraphs, because that's when people will avoid reading it. Use simple and easy words which people can understand easily, because if people find it difficult to read that, then they will not read. So avoid, uh, we may be a master of our own language, or we may be excellent in our language, in English or in whatever language we write, but also think, are our readers also that skilled in the same language? The answer will be most of the times no, unless you're writing for some industry experts. So that is one, always use simple words which people from which all the type of audience can understand easily. And every blog or every story should only have one moral of the story. Avoid multiple thoughts in one story, or avoid multiple morals in one story, otherwise it will make the story confusing. Because that is one of the reason why people will not read the story. And always write as if you are directly talking to the reader. So write in a conversational style. Use more words like you. So avoid, and always use active voice, avoid passive voice, because because blog is a conversational style. So if we use passive style, if we use a passive way of writing, it doesn't sound right. For example, if you tell someone, I like you, the person will feel nice. But if you say, if similarly, if you say it in a passive voice, you are liked by me, the person will think you are insane. So both the sentence means exactly the same, just the difference is active voice and passive voice. So that's what, uh, whenever you're writing in a conversational style, always active voice preferred more. Yeah, now about apart, so this is just one of the topic. This is just a brief about what you will be learning in module number 3. In blogs, there's a lot more to it. Apart from that, you'll also be learning SEO writing. So SEO is search engine optimization. So whenever you're writing for any digital platform, SEO is a must to know, because SEO will help you in understanding how to write, what are the words to be used, so that our content ranks higher on Google. Because in Google, whenever we search for any information, most of us will only click on the links either on the first or the second page of Google. Very few of us will actually go beyond 5 or 10 pages. So if understand, if our content ranks in the 100 page of Google, do you think anyone will ever reach that far? Very rare situation. So if you know SEO, that means you will know how to rank your website higher. If your website ranks higher, that means that you will get more audience. More audience means more income for you in writing. So one of the things that you will be learning is SEO writing. Then you will be writing about landing pages, more details about blog writing, social media writing, ebook writing, newsletters and magazine writing, copywriting. Then you will also be learning about press releases, writing book reviews, because there are ways that you can also get paid by writing just reviews. Now, how to do that? That is a part of the full content writing course. Then product descriptions. Any online shopping websites like Amazon, Myntra, Flipkart, Tata Click, these are all shopping websites. So before you purchase any product, most of us will look at the product description, that what exactly this product, what is this product, and what are the specifications of this product. Now if you don't write it properly, most of the people will not buy that product, because they're not getting the right information, or else people will prefer the one which has better information, because they feel that I'm getting more clarity about this product. So that is what, if you know how to write product descriptions, then you will be able to get better income out of your writing. Apart from that, you'll also be learning resume writing, cover letter. Resume is something which we all should know. And there are also ways that you can write a resume. You can also get paid by writing good resume. So websites like Indeed.com, Naukri.com, Monster Jobs and all, they have free account. They also have paid account for job seekers. So in paid account, they help you in creating your resumes. So in that resume, all those resumes are created by professional resume writers. So if you are good in creating a resume, you can also earn good amount out of it. So technical writing, resume writing is one of the highest paid profiles. Apart from that, writing cover letters, editing and proofreading, all these things is something that you will be learning in module number 3. Now let's go to the next module, that is content strategy. One of the most important thing. Yes. So Sonia, in case if you want to know more about how to enroll for this course, you can contact one of our counselors. This is Shilpa. This is Ananka. So you can call Shilpa on either of these two numbers. She'll guide you through it. Or you can also contact Nanka through any of these two phone numbers. They'll guide you on how to enroll for this course. Apart from that, once we end this module today, before we end, I'll also be sharing the link to enroll. And there's also one surprise for you as well for attending the for attending this webinar. So there's one surprise for you at the end of this course. Okay. Now, module number 4, content strategy. So one of the very important thing for getting good amount of audience for our content is strategizing or to create a good strategy. For example, whenever we publish our content on a platform as common as Facebook, most of the people are not online on Facebook 24/7. I mean, we are not online 24/7, right? Most of them are online at a particular time. Most of us are usually online in the, so what time do you think are most of the people online on Facebook, or rather any social media? It can be Instagram as well, or Twitter. What time do you think are most of the people online on these platforms? Facebook, Insta, evening and midnight. Yes, uh, very right, Akhil. So yes, most of the people are online during late night or late in the evening, or usually before we go to sleep. So if and normally how these websites work is contents which are published, which are the ones which are the latest posts will always show up first. The ones which are older will always be below the later posts. So in this, if I publish something in the afternoon, like around 1 or 2 p.m., but most of the people come online in the evening time around, let's say, 9:30 or 10, there will be already so much of posts above our post. So there will be times where many of the people will not even be able to see our post, because they'll just scroll through few of them, and they'll just close for Facebook and go to sleep. So that's when. But in case if you publish your content at the right time, for example around 9:30, and most of the people come online at around 9:45, there is a very high chance that most of the people will be able to view your content. Okay. One of the very important thing in creating a content is mind mapping. Mind mapping is a very nice way to create our content or to write our content, or to decide how to write a content. For example, if I have to write a content of around 1000 words, I may be able to think of 300 or 500 words easily. But to write about 1000 or even 3000 words, at times it becomes difficult. Now, how to do that is one of the way that will help us is mind mapping. So I'll just give you a little bit of brief of how mind mapping works. Let's create a mind map on if we have to write a content, if you have to write a motivational content. So whenever you're preparing mind mapping, first is the center, or the central topic, the main topic, which always comes in the center. That is motivational content. Okay, so motivation. Now, apart from that, now what are the things that comes under motivation? How can you write? What are the points that you can write in a motivational content? What are the points that you can cover? So yes, please share your suggestions. What are the things that you can write in a motivational content? So what are the things? So think of what are the things that motivates people. What are the things that are related to motivation? So what are the points that you can write on? Anything so far? Any suggestions? Yes. So one of the ways, one of the thing that comes under this, under motivation, yes, is positive thinking. Correct. So positive thinking. Then apart from that, then apart from positive thinking, yes, what else can you think of? Yes, attitude. Now, same way, whenever you're doing mind mapping, whenever you're creating mind maps, so we connect all these points to main top. Yes, confidence, willpower. Yes, very right. Okay, so willpower, we'll connect it back to our main topic. Now, apart from that, in positive thinking, what are the things that comes under positive thinking, or what are the things which will help you in thinking positive? So always think in that perspective. So things which will help you in thinking positive. Meditation, yes. Meditation is again, yes, very important, very right. Meditation is one of the things. Practice, yes. So when we connect all these things together, now if I say meditation here, is learning from criticism, correct? So this is how you create mind maps. So where you start writing about topics and you keep on creating subtopics. So right now we have just created the subtopic for positive thinking. Similarly, there'll be subtopics for attitude. There'll be again subtopics for willpower. So now, if you write just few words about this, when you write, you start with writing about motivation. Then what are the things that comes up under motivation, like positive thinking? Then what are the ways that you can think positive? Then meditation, learning from criticism. You can write about all that. Then apart from that, what else comes under motivation is the attitude. So always keep your attitude positive. Then what are things that comes under attitude? You'll be writing about that. Then willpower, what are the things that comes under willpower? You write about that. So this will help you in creating a good and a good and logical content for you. Then some so this is how you draw mind maps. Then apart from that, few others that you'll also be learning in content strategy is that every brand, we relate to the brand, the image of the brand. Every brand has its own shade of its colors. So now those shades of the colors depends on because whenever we think about brand like Vodafone, we always think about white and red colors. So similarly, we have other brands as well. So let's play a game. So I'll show you some logos. You identify me, but I will the name of that logo to Henry Harvin. but the style of that logo still remains the same. So let's play a game. Identify that logo. You tell which logo is it. Okay. So let's start with the first one. What logo is this? I changed the name to Henry Harvin. Now, when trying to identify, think of the yeah. So I'll share my screen once again, so you can see the logo. This logo, or what brand does this logo relate to? So you can look at uh, the colors, the color that is used, and the font that is used. What company do you think of? This is something which is very common. Can you see my screen now? Because I've shared the screen now. I think so. You should be able to see it. Okay. Yes. So yes. What company do you think of? Okay. Now the second one. Now what company can you think of? Okay. Yes. So what we said was correct. So first one is Facebook. Second one is Netflix. And yes, third one. Now, which brand is this? This would be simple. Yes, Google. Correct. Perfect. So yes, so this one is Google. Okay. So this is how, and I did not show the name of the company as well. Just with the colors and with the font, we were able to identify. So now, whenever you are writing your content, so always, if you're writing a content for a brand, if it is a new brand, always think of what is the brand, what is that brand's image. Choose their own font, colors, because if you look at Disney, whenever you see Disney has their own font. whenever you read that font as well, you will easily be able to identify that this is Disney font. So similarly, all the brands have their own font, their own shade of colors. There is a difference between this Netflix red and the Airtel red or the Vodafone red. All three are little bit of different shades of red. So whenever a brand thinks of all these things, they have all these things in mind. So these are few things which comes under modules, or which comes under strategy. Now, to go to the next one, that is technical and research writing. So one of the thing is white paper. Now, white paper is a document that is used for an official use. Previously, white paper was used as an official document for information sharing. Now, a white paper is something which is more used for promotions. Now, whenever you use a white paper, to write a white paper, always think in this way that that in case if I own a company, if I own a brand, if I own a brand which is, let's say, like movers and packers, or like interior decorators, so I'll not directly publish or send promotional letters to businesses or to office like emails or letters. So that white paper is never a direct promotion. White paper is written in a way that first you show that you are an expert in this field, and at the end you start writing about how can your company benefit with the white paper. Okay. Like this is one of the example for white paper. 13 mistakes to avoid when building out your next office. So this is a white paper published by Office Morph. Now in this, you will see introduction of white paper, and then the points. Mistake number one is bidding out the project. Time is not on your side, because whenever you have to move to a new office or buy a new office, you may not always have a lot of time. Second is letting your landlord manage the project. So if your landlord manages the project, they may not let you do whatever you want. Then signing the lease too soon. And then apart from that, using vague contracts. So these are some tips. The mistake number 5, not getting input from your employees. If you don't get input from your employees, you may not understand that what is the ideal work environment that they need. If they don't get the ideal work environment, they may not give their best. So that is again going to affect your office. So if you see that they have written all these mistakes just to show that they are credible in this field, they are the experts in this industry. After the end of it, they have given their own brand logo after the 13 mistakes. After that, they start writing about their company. So about the author, this for more information about the office build out process. For help with your upcoming project, visit this website. You can sign up for our free newsletter with more handy tips. So this way, they've given their contact details, and when someone contacts them, they will give them their offers, that how can you improve on your what is the next thing to look out. So this is how it is written. No matter what your company is about, you first publish an official document, and this is usually for B2B only, business to business use. It is an indirect type style of marketing. It is not directly promotional. So whenever you write white paper, always make it informational rather than making it promotional, and always you make it data centric. So you try to include more graphs, pie diagrams, as much infographics, as much data as possible, so that all these things will build credibility for your for your business. So you start with what are the problems that some of the businesses may face. Then you give the solution for it, and then at the end you write for more solutions or better solutions. Please contact us, and that is how this is promoted. That is white paper. But there's a lot more to it in technical writing. So you'll also be learning about technical writing, how to write technical writing, how to write user manuals, how to write FAQs, frequently asked questions, how to write a research paper, how to write thesis, then how to write grant writing. So all these things in the complete course. And again, our counselors have shared their contact details. So you can contact our counselors. Now let's go to module number 6, that is academic writing. Now academic writing. So whenever you have to write academic writing, in academic writing there are different things. You can prepare an e-learning module. You can prepare a courseware as well. Let's learn how to prepare a rubric. A rubric is sort of like a grading system which is used by teachers to grade their students. So do you remember that whenever we were in school, we used to have for let's say like standard 1 or grade 1, we used to have different like 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D. We used to have some different divisions for every year. So that's how they used to follow in most of the schools. So they used to divide their students according to the grade, and most of the classes used to be a mix and match of different types of students. And whenever teacher so this is basically used by teachers to judge their students, and also used in companies as well, to mark quality for their products. So whenever you have to prepare a rubric, always decide that what are the ways that you will be rating, that you will be grading your students or your products. So this is how a rubrics looks like. For example, that I have to grade some cookies. So now in this, first criteria is number of chips that it has, the texture that it has, color that it has, taste that it has, and richness that it has. If it is delicious, that means that the number of chips will have chocolate chip in every bite. If it has 75% chips, or 75% of the bites will have chips, that means it is good. If has 50% or less bites have chocolate chips, that means that it needs more improvement. Similarly, a taste as well, like home baked taste, that means that it is delicious. Quality store bought taste, that it means that it is good. And if it is tasteless, that means that it needs improvement. So whenever you have to create a rubric, so always first decide that what are the criteria. For example, in case if you have to rate your students in academic writing, first is that how are you going to rate your students? Is it their score? Is it their behavior in the classroom? Is it the how active they are in class? Is it how much questions they answer? So all those things there. So you decide all these things here. So let's say exam percentage. Now, if you say, let's say 75% or more distinction, 60% or more grade A, then 50, 45 or more, or grade 50 or more grade B, then 45 or more grade C. Anything below that, grade D. Anything below 35 is fail. So that is how you divide your students. So that is why we had that ranking part and all. A few more things that you'll be learning in module number 6 is how to create a study material, then academic guides, tutorials like YouTube tutorials and all. Then e-learning, instructional design, question banks, workbooks, courseware, and definitely rubric. This was just a short description of rubric. There's a lot more to it. Now, module number 7 is creative writing. So creative writing is something that includes your own creativity, your own narrative craft, your own imagination. So whenever you have to write creative writing, first thing is try to be as descriptive as possible. Try to give as much information as you can about any topics that you have to write on. Because just like the previous example that we saw in the first few slides about the girl plucking the flowers. If it is just a girl is plucking the flower, then it does not sound that creative, and it does not sound that interesting as well. So a creative writing involves a lot of things. That first is that how do you describe certain things. uh, so always use power words. One of the very important things in creative writing is there are certain words which we can use as an alternative for very. For example, if I say the food is very tasty, the food is delicious, you performed well in in school, you performed excellent, or you performed amazingly well in school. So this is how power words will give more emphasis to your sentence. So this is how whenever you have to write creative writing, so always make use of such flowery words, always make use of such narrative crafts. Also use different types of figure of speeches in your creative writing, like personification. So whenever you have to write a general thing, but if you write it in a personification way, that will make your content more interesting. For example, the flower smiled at me, uh, the lightning was dancing in the sky. If I just say there is a lightning in the sky, it does not sounds generic. That there's nothing special. Or if I say that there is a flower, so it sounds normal. But if I use such personifications, if I use such flowery words, it makes the content, it beautifies the content even more. So this adds better flavor to our content. Okay, so that is what that is how you make your creative writing interesting. There's a lot more to it whenever you write creative writing. Apart from these, whenever if you have to write scripts, a script will always have three acts. That is Act A, Act One, Act Two, Act Three. Act One is, let's say, if you most of the scripts are fictional part. So since it is fiction, the readers do not know about your characters. The reader does not know about your world. So first is how do you introduce your world to your readers? How do you introduce your characters to the readers? So it has to be impactful. Now, previously, there was only the protagonist or the hero of a story who used to have a great introduction, but now the trend is changing. Now, villains have a very strong personality. For example, there is a separate movie which is made on Joker. Even if you talk about the Avengers villain, that is Thanos. Thanos has its own significance that people feel that Thanos is a very strong character. So how do you introduce that character as well? That makes much of a difference. Then, once you introduce your characters and the plot, then you start with Act Two. That is when the action starts happening. That that is the beginning of the first conflict. So your first conflict is there is something which happens between the protagonist and the antagonist, because of which they hate each other or they do not like each other. So that is what makes the first impression among the readers, that how strong is the villain, how strong is the hero of a story. If you want, you can also divide Act 2 into two parts, like Act 2A, Act 2B. Act 2A can be wherein the antagonist is much more stronger. When the antagonist wins the first battle, then there is something which happens in a story that gives the strength suddenly for the protagonist to fight back. In that you can show in Act 2. Then Act 3 will again, when the protagonist gets the strength to fight back, then the big battle between the protagonist and the antagonist. And then you write the conclusion, and all the questions that were asked in the story, or that were there that came up in the story, you answer all those questions in the conclusion, wherein everything comes back to normal after the end of that event. So that is how you write scripts. Now, if this is one of the example. Now, draft one. Whenever you're writing any type of creative content, like any script writing or something, you will always have to write it multiple times. A good story is something which will always have some surprises, some suspense for the readers. So it is good if it surprises the readers or the viewers, and it is all it's good to see if if the stories show more than they tell. So you do not want the readers to just read through your content. They want you want them to imagine what it is. You want them to imagine how your character looks. If in case if people cannot imagine the characters, cannot imagine the situation, there is a less possibility that they will like reading your story, or they will want to reread your story multiple times. And it's bad writing if the writer has used overly detailed character descriptions. You don't have to give each and everything, like you just give them a details which helps us to imagine how the characters look. So apart from that, in creative writing, some more things like foundation of creative writing, dialogue writing, script writing, and how to get projects from international clients. So first is always create a good portfolio about yourself. Portfolio should have different types of contents, uh, because that will show that you're not just restricted to only one style of writing. You can write different types of contents. Or your agency that you want to, or your clients that you want to target, are like your customers. You want to impress them, which are one of the that you haven't. And try to develop skills in high paying content types like resume writing, technical writing, book writing, writing in vernacular language, common languages like English. Because English, there are a lot of writers who are available, but in vernacular languages, there are not many writers who are available. So that is more high paid profile. So these are some of the ways that you can earn from content writing. There's a lot more to it. That there's not there's that's hardly few percentage of it that we've discussed right now, due to time constraint. But there's a lot more to it. So these are the recent success stories of Henry Harvin. These are our previous batch students. So Khyati is my previous batch student. So after learning this course, she started her own venture. Then Zenith, she published an ebook on Amazon. Then Chitral, he started working in Planet Ecom Solutions. The opportunity was provided by Henry Harvin. And Chandu Ure, after this course, he got promoted in his department because he was able to upskill himself. These are our institutional clients, and get the students trained from us. And so these are some institutes that we have trained. It's International Management Institute of New Delhi. And these are some of the corporate clients. So we give Henry Harvin gives corporate trainings to these. So some of the client includes brands like so they're all known companies like Bajaj Finance, SanDisk, Lufthansa. So Gap, all these things are known brands. These are our clients. So Henry Harvin has trained these clients in so they have done courses from Henry Harvin because of their trust that they have in Henry Harvin. Okay, so apart from these, you'll also be learning about freelancing websites. That what are the websites that you can register on, that you can start getting freelance projects. How can you earn from content writing? Now about the course. Once you join the 1 year membership of Henry Harvin, where you can get e-learning access, all the sessions that are conducted. In case if it's not that once it is done, it is done. You can go back, you can look at the recording to revise and just learn everything once again, because we cannot expect you to remember 100% of what you have learned. So anything that you have learned, you can just go through the recording, you can learn it again. So that will help you in recapping things. Every year there is a monthly or every month there is a brush up session happening. There are monthly brush up sessions. So it's not like that once you complete the course, then we forget you. It is never like that. You are still a part of Henry Harvin. So every month you will be getting 1 year of monthly brush up sessions. So in case if there are any refreshers that happens, and you get job opportunities every week through Henry Harvin. And why choose Henry Harvin? Because Henry Harvin was the first institute that started with complete content writing course. So definitely, we know what we are doing. We know what we have to train. And Henry Harvin was ranked number one by Trainings 360. Definitely, if an institute is ranked number one out of all so many institutes available, that does mean something. Henry Harvin has also been recognized by media brands like Aaj Tak, Hindustan Times, India Today, The Pioneer, The Hans, many more such brands. And all the trainers that you get have minimum 10 years of experience in the industry. So this is one of the criteria that you have to be a master of your field. Only then they get the opportunity to train. And you also get guaranteed internship with Henry Harvin, so that in case after you complete the training, you also get internship opportunities with Henry Harvin. So in case if so that will give you get, and that is included in the course. That is not something extra that you have to pay for it. That is all included in the course. This is the media reputation of Henry Harvin. When Henry Harvin was recognized in newspapers about the Henry Harvin courses. This is how Henry Harvin ranks on Google. You can also go to Google and check if you want to check it yourself. Henry Harvin has a very good rating from all our students. So again, if you do it separately, language skills and internet skills will cost you around 8,999 or 9,000 to make it round. Marketing writing on business and marketing writing will cost you 6,000 rupees separately if you do it from normal institutes. Just learning content strategy costs 6,000 separately. This is not the price of the course that I'm talking about. This is generally in the market that I'm talking about. Costs around 6,000 rupees. Academic writing again costs 6,000 rupees. Creative writing course, just creative writing costs 6,000 rupees. Understanding how can you get projects from international clients, there are separate courses available for those. They cost 6,000 rupees. So overall, all these things cost 45,000 more than that. But you don't have to pay so much of the for all these courses through Henry Harvin is 12,500 rupees. This is the overall course fees, and you get all these things. Now, how this course works is, now since I promised that there will be a surprise for you, since you have joined our webinar, you get 20% additional discount if you enroll right now. So how to enroll? This is the link that you click. I'll just copy this link so you can register it. So this is the link that you can visit. You can just reserve 20% discount if you do it right now. And these are the numbers that if you want more details about the course, these are the numbers that you can contact. I'll also put the number as well in the chat window. But yes, Shipa and Anka have already already shared their numbers, so you can contact them. And even on YouTube, Ikra has shared her number, so you can contact reviews that we have received. Even if you go to YouTube channel of Henry Harvin as well, you'll see various reviews by our students. And if you see, it is a very detailed and well-researched program. It covers a subject for all the professionals, business owners, and writers. The content even covers digital marketing tools and has key takeaways. So these are a few reviews. These are more 30% discounts. So that is valid for the next 10 minutes from now. So if you have to register, yes, please register right now. I've shared the link on chat. So you can just register, or our counselors or our relationship management and take and make use of this opportunity. That will definitely help you in boosting up your career. Any question for now? Any question before we call it off? Relationship managers have shared their numbers. Yes, so you can make and yes, so job opportunities definitely. You get job opportunities from Henry Harvin. So just like I mentioned, through Henry Harvin. So our relationship managers will help you in getting that, and you get emails as well whenever there is a requirement for content writers. You get that information on your email. So there is definitely job opportunities as well that you get through Henry Harvin. And even the the Henry Harvin success stories also that I was talking about. So the opportunity was provided by Henry Harvin. So this one that I was talking about, Chitral Gupta, the opportunity was provided by Henry Harvin. So so we have shared the link on this chat window. The link is also visible on the screen. So please use this link and register right now. So for the next 10 minutes, you get additional 20% discount. So instead of 12,500, you can get the course as 10,000. And again, if you have any more questions, shared their numbers on screen. So please contact them. And they will be very helpful, and they'll answer all your questions about the course. Okay, so for now, I'll just leave the screen open so that you can note down all these details. And from my side, thank you so much, all of you, for being a part of today's session. It was wonderful, and thank you so much for making this interactive and answering and interact and making this interactive as well. So thank you so much, and I hope this information was helpful for you. If you have any questions, the numbers are already shared with you on the screen plus on the chat window as well. So please make use of that information, and as I said that uh, you get a surprise. So that surprise is a 20% discount if you register right now. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you so much, Shilpa, for the for such nice comments. And thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, Rajesh, as well, for such good comments. And I hope to see you in the complete course.